You automatically get approved for $5,000 to $10,000 if you have a credit score of at least 500. You walked into the dealership about 6 months later and walked out with a brand new 2020 vehicle with 0% interest and no money down at all. I'm sorry, 4% interest and no money down. And I like to tell people from that standpoint is make sure that the country is your playground, not just your local demographic of what's available from the market from that standpoint. Make sure that you look at everywhere the numbers make sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next edition of Conversations with Brent. We have one of my mentees, younger brothers, Justice Ross, excuse me. He is an entrepreneur, business owner, and wealth advisor for WE Management Services. What's up, bro?
What's going on, big bro? Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure. Been trying to run you down. You're a busy man. I catch up with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got me here now, so I appreciate you having me in this opportunity. Like I mentioned before, I know you have a plethora of connections, and you could have picked anybody in the world, but here you are with me, so I really appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, man, like I said, you can do it. So, we're starting into our financial series, and who better to talk finance than you? So let's just jump right in with credit scoring. A lot of people hear about credit scoring. You hear them say, oh, I missed one payment and my score dropped, or, I pay on time all the time, but why is my score still low? Can you enlighten us to what are the factors that go into credit scoring?
Absolutely. So we look at credit in terms of an actual pie chart, in terms of 100% of wakes up an entire credit score. And the biggest portion of that is your payment history, which makes up 35% of your credit score, which is your ability to repay and pay on time. 30% of your credit score is your credit utilization. So an idea or a measure when it comes to credit utilization, you want to make sure you don't use more than 30% of the available credit that you have on the limits of your credit card. So 30% or less, the less you get to 5 to 1%, the better. But you don't want to go above 30% of utilization for each credit card that you have available. The next thing is your age of file or length of history. That's 15%. So basically your credit profile needs to be seasoned, and that takes time. It doesn't come right away. So once you start establishing credit, you want to be able to maintain your length and age of file by having good credit and the extension of years on your credit profile. 10% is also new credit. So when you reapply for, or when you apply for new credit cards or new auto loans and those sorts of things. And the last 10% is mixture of credit. Do you have a mortgage? Do you have installment loans? Do you have a car loan? How many credit cards do you have? So those entire percentages make up your credit profile at 100%. So 35% payment history, 30% utilization, 15% is age of file, 10% is your new credit, and another 10% is your mixed credit.
And you know what's that? I remember when I was going to get my car, credit was good, didn't have a lot. They talking about your score would be higher if you had more debt. And I'm like, how crazy is that? You want me to have more debt for my score to go up? So it's really a game. And that's why
Absolutely.
I'm to shed some light on how to play the game. So what's maybe something that you know or use that can help people raise their scores? Not immediately, because we know nothing happens instantly, but something that could be a big boost to them getting their credit score up.
So absolutely. So one thing I like to share with clients when it comes to, if they have a small amount of revolving credit, we have 2 of our vendor accounts we like to recommend to clients, because you should have at least $5,000 of reporting revolving credit. If you do not have that, your profile is not thick enough in terms of the amount of revolving credit that you have. So we do have links that we recommend clients to sign up for as a credit builder. So you utilize these sites as a tool to apply for their credit utilization cards. you will automatically get approved for $5,000 to $10,000 if you have a credit score of at least 500. Okay, so as an example, I had a client before who had no credit whatsoever, no revolving credit, and he had a few negative items reporting, but he trusted the process. Keep in mind, it is a process. He signed up for the vendor accounts to add and stimulate revolving credit on his profile. He purchased items from that vendor accounts site, paid them off over 3 months. What he purchased, it showed your ability to repay and also your ability to have credit and you're not maxing out what you have available. So he trusted the process, and over a short few months, it put him in position to boost his credit scores, along with us removing the negative items that he had reporting. He walked into the dealership about 6 months later and walked out with a brand new 2020 vehicle with 0% interest and no money down at all. I'm sorry, 4% interest and no money down.
That's pretty amazing. Somebody can do that in that short time. What's something else maybe you would recommend somebody look at doing?
So you always want to make sure, especially when it comes to looking at, if you're looking at business funding, as an example, you will always be a personal guarantor in terms of being able to receive funding for your business. So okay, your credit profile always has to be in position. And a lot of people don't realize is that when you're looking at business funding, if your name is spelled incorrectly on your credit profile, you can be denied from the bureaus. I mean, from the banks, from the lenders. So that's just one small thing that people don't realize from that standpoint, because they want to make sure they're accurately being able to be lended. They're lending to the correct person. And if your name is incorrect in your profile, that could be a red flag to you not being approved.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking some of these questions, last episode we had my niece Keisha on, and she talked about her spreadsheets and budgeting and making sure finances go. How important is budgeting from your perspective?
So budgeting is very important from my perspective in the standpoint of setting goals financially. So if you're in a position to where you're trying to get to a certain place, but you don't know where your money is going, you're never going to get there. So right. I tell people all the time to get in position by knowing where every single penny is going to. And a lot of times we're afraid to have that conversation with ourselves because we're so afraid of knowing what we have going out versus what we got coming in, and being able to really get a hard number on that information right there. So I always tell people to start with that. If you're really trying to obtain a goal financially, you have to know what you have available on the table going out versus coming in, and then being able to set goals based upon those real hard numbers. Yeah, no guessing.
Yeah, one thing I think, sometimes numbers are abstract until you write them down. You think, oh, I got enough to cover. And then when you write it down, you see either you do or you don't. So I think that's very key to write them down. So after this, I know you're starting to do a little investing. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what are you investing in right now?
So currently I'm doing some investment in real estate and across the country. And I like to tell people from that standpoint is make sure that the country is your playground, not just your local demographic of what's available from the market from that standpoint. Make sure that you look at everywhere the numbers make sense. Because a lot of times we feel like, hey, I can't get anything here, and I can't afford this area. We have to let the market, the entire market of the country, be your playground.
Okay. Besides real estate, are you doing any REITs, real estate investment trust, or you just doing, I know a lot of people are into flipping houses. What kind of real estate investing are you doing?
Good question. So right now I'm doing fix and flipping and buying holds. I don't do any wholesale deals. That's just not my market and what my partners deal with. So we focus more on the fix and flipping and buying holds.
Okay. And what does that mean for somebody who's like, what? Hey, I would like to do that, but I don't know what it means.
So the difference between fixing and flipping and buying and holding is a fix and flip would be you getting involved in the deal and you're doing the renovations or it needs to be done to get it up to par to get back on the market. Then you resell that property. Okay. For a profit. And for me, my measure, the goal is to have at least 12% return on an investment. And when it comes to buying and holding, you want to develop passive income. So what that means is you purchase a property and you want to rent out that property and you get what we call mailbox money. So
Okay.
there's a continually return payment that you're receiving from renting on that property.
Good deal. Any other investments right now?
So I'm actually trying to dabble in some, I won't say dabble, I'm learning day trading right now as well. So it's very new for me, and I'm learning all the terminology in terms of all the ins and outs of what it all means. And I'm connected to a really good resource in terms of that. So I'm looking forward to the future in regards to that. And I also have some off-market investments that I do, just get interest returns on basically allowing people to utilize my money, and I receive an interest return on it.
Okay.
That's basically a hard lender.
I was gonna say, is that hard?
Correct.
Okay, good deal. So how do you, let me ask you this, how did you get started with the love or the interest in finance to get your credit straight, to move into investing? What got you started, or maybe where can somebody get started?
Well, I always knew that credit was the path to more financial gains and stability when it came to me personally and everybody else. You know, it's thing that unfortunately in the Black and brown community is extremely underserved information that we don't receive on a consistent basis. So we don't always have immediate access to the information and why credit is of value and why we need to be in position to be able to utilize our credit. So it's been something that's been, you know, burning in the back of my brain for several years. And my credit was never really horrible. I never really understood the major advantages of it completely until I met up with my business partner, who is Mr. Will Roundtree. And he's known as the credit king. And that phrase is coined, by the way. But so once I started, you know, being around here more and understanding the proper value of credit from that space, along with my other partner, Mr. Paul Thornton, I started to realize the ability to be able to use my credit as leverage. And if anybody is interested in terms of getting involved with having their credit restored, rebuilt, and repaired, you can always reach out to me directly to justice@wemanagementservices.com. And I'll leave the link during our podcast once it's over, so you guys can have access to that information. And I do consultations and give full assessment breakdowns on your credit and where you are, and have a conversation with you about your goals, where you're trying to get to in terms of the advantages of your credit and any of your financial future opportunities.
Good deal. So let me, now that you've done, how has it impacted your life?
In terms of credit,
Yes, sir.
man, you walk different. When you when you're in position, B, and you know that your credit is in position for you to go ahead and approach things that you want to purchase or be in position to purchase, it gives you a different walk. And when I tell people about credit monitoring, you want to be active in regards to credit monitoring from that standpoint, because we spend money on like Netflix and Disney Plus, any types of things that don't add any value to us. But when you have credit monitoring, before you decide to try to apply for that new car or that new home, you know where your credit is already from that standpoint. That way you're not wasting your time, or you're having additional hard inquiries for denial because you don't even know where you're at. So credit for me has helped tenfold in a lot of ways in terms of being in position, utilize my credit scores to advantages, and also being able to be involved in deals where I purchase real estate investment deals with credit, no cash.
And I know one thing you mentioned, don't use services like Credit Karma. Why is that?
Well, because Credit Karma is an okay measure to see something that you have reporting from a consumer standpoint, but their site is driven on sales in terms of getting you to sign up for a credit card, and they receive a percentage of you signing up for that card and being approved. Their scoring model isn't accurate, and if we were to go in to dispute any items from your profile, the account numbers aren't available through Credit Karma. So they send you these scores and these models like, whoa, good job, your credit score is up. And then you go on an actual accredited monitoring service like Identity IQ, which is what we recommend for our credit clients. Your score could be 50 to 75 points different than what you see on Credit Karma. So They kind of bait you in by those scores, but it's not accurate.
Okay. Identity IQ is one of the better ones I've seen, and there's a lot of different ones out there. As we get ready to wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share, maybe that you're working on, maybe the way they can get in contact with you to learn about some investing and credit repair? I know you talked about the credit, but anything else you want to share, and let them know again how to get in touch with you and for which services?
Absolutely. So I like to really just make mention of, even outside of me being able to assist you with any types of services, always be willing to focus on your mindset. Mindset is always the key and foundation for you to be able to gain any financial freedoms or any goals that you set for yourself. You have to be willing to do the hard work, make the sacrifices, and it starts with mindset. That's muscle memory. You know, I like to compare it to, you know, the same way we work our bodies out, we need to work our minds the same way. And if you put in those hours for your body, those same hours have to be put in for your mind in order for you to get where you need to get to. And in terms of being able to connect with me, actually, I'm going this weekend to an event that we're hosting in Milwaukee. We'll be doing another one in Atlanta soon, and I think Las Vegas. It's called Credit and Cocktails. And what that is we're having a lounge event to be able to educate people on the power of credit and the leverage of credit. And also day two, we're going to focus on how to purchase real estate with using the bank's money, we call TBM, and utilizing credit to purchase real estate. So we'll be doing a few locations across the country for that. And if you're interested in doing the virtual for that, you can go to creditandcocktails.com to purchase your virtual ticket. The local tickets, the physical tickets are already sold out for the Milwaukee event. So you can go to creditandcocktails.com and sign up for that. And also, if you want to reach out to me personally, reach out to justice@wemanagementservices.com. That's justice@wemanagementservices.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Mr. Justice Ross.
All right, good man. I appreciate you dropping that knowledge. And check him out, see what he can do for you. You know, hey, I don't endorse a lot of people, but I know him. Known him since he was a kid, since he was born. He's a full man with kids. Man, you're doing an awesome job with your family. I love that you're acquiring knowledge and not afraid to share it. And I just encourage people to reach out to you, man, to see what kind of difference you can make in their lives. So make sure you reach out to him. We'll make sure we put links on all my social media, BK3Meal. And just, man, just thank you so much, bro, for just making time and just being a part of Conversations with Brent. I greatly appreciate it.
Hey, bro, I appreciate you too, man. Likewise, definitely.
Much love,
man.
We
gotta link up soon. We gotta link up soon, man.
Hey, soon we can get rid of the COVID, as the old people call it.
Right.
But hey, we'll make something happen, and then we'll do another in-person Conversations with Brent.
Okay, definitely. Set that up.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. Love you, bro.
I love you too, man.
Yep. Peace.
Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Conversations with Brent with Justice Ross. We'll make sure that every link he mentioned, we'll put in our social media at BK3Meal on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks for watching Conversations with Brent, connecting with people on all levels. Have a good day.